Okay. So I want to hear about your thoughts about these type of sessions. Have you gone to all? Well, I know there were three. I don't know if there were any more. Have you gone to all of them?
I missed one because I was sick, but yeah, most of them.
Now, one of the other things I noticed when I was editing down that footage was you had started to speak about Drake, I think it was, and someone had a contrary opinion, and you fired right back with, no, this is my opinion. So tell me about how it is to speak up that way around your peers and around adults.
Um, it's a good thing to speak up because like you won't really get your point across if you keep it all bottled in. Now, what their opinions to him are very different, to me because maybe Drake does something different, like like basically maybe they don't like something about Drake that I do like. It's just your opinions.
Do you have something? Anybody else back there have anything before I ask a question? Okay. Now, I was also wondering, what have you heard in your time with the Chanceys that really was enlightening, that you wouldn't have thought of if you hadn't had this opportunity to get together and talk? That's for all of you. So think about what your answer is going to be. I can just sit here and look cute. You got to talk. Go ahead. Can you think of anything that you heard during your time together that you wouldn't have thought of? Like one time, Carl mentioned that there's one song in particular that everyone listens to and hears the bad part of the lyrics, but the meaning of the song is really good. And I don't know what song he was talking about, but do you have any examples of that?
Actually, that song was "Swimming Pools" by Kendrick Lamar. Just to kind of go back, the session that we're talking about, the subject was hip hop culture. It was actually part 3. And what we were doing, we were watching videos, and we were analyzing the videos and getting the kids' opinion. And during that dialogue, somehow it came to this song by Kendrick Lamar called "Swimming Pools." And they thought the song was about drinking alcohol, and actually the song is not about drinking alcohol. It's about what happens when you do drink alcohol and you get drunk and the things that happen about that. But it wasn't really a song encouraging to drink.
Right.
It was actually quite the opposite. But that's the kind of things we like to do. We like to talk about it and understand the lyrics that you're listening to, because these days people listen to lyrics and they don't really understand what they're really about. A lot of times it's bad,
right,
and they don't even know what they're really listening to. But in this particular case, it was the opposite. It actually was a good message that the kids were interpreting as something bad. So I just wanted to clarify that with them. They didn't know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that goes back to elaborate and like how I try to dig more out of them. The same thing with videos and songs, or just dealing with your friends, or just any type of situation or circumstance you're up against. Sometimes you need to step back from it and think about it, or just listen. Everybody's so quick to like just shoot off, or just or just, I like with songs, they just get the hook, but they don't really hear the whole summary of it. Sometimes you got to just analyze things just a little bit more, especially things that you're taking into yourself, your spirit,
exactly,
and your mind. And
one of the things also was there were a lot of times, you guys, when the Chancys showed you videos that have been out for years and years that even I know, okay, and I don't watch videos anymore. And like Mrs. Chancey said, there are messages that you hear over, and you watch these videos over and over and over, and when they asked you what they meant, you couldn't tell them. Or you had an idea that wasn't, like there was the Eminem video, and I think that you guys, there was a lot that you didn't see in that video about the point that was trying to be made. And then the other one was not even the Kanye West one, the Tupac one, okay? But there were a lot of messages that I was really glad you guys had the opportunity to talk about. Now, I know you have something to say. I know you do. Nothing?
Yes, you do.
He has something to say.
You had a lot to say in the session. I'm really curious.
Things how you didn't know some things that you...
I can say one thing about Charles is he has a, I guess he has an old soul, so he listens to a lot of music that we grew up on, and even music before my generation. And one thing about him is that he does analyze lyrics. So I think that's one good thing about Charles. So I know you got something to say.
And he's not a follower, he's a leader, which something I really try to encourage these days.
I like that about him.
So Charles, what do you have to say? Nothing? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any questions?
I guess I don't really have a question, but when I did listen to Swimming Pools and Kendrick Lamar, I thought it was the same thing about drinking and not a positive message.
And it's a lot of people don't know that. And it actually is the opposite. So that's interesting. And that's a lot of things we do is we listen to songs. And this particular the particular day that we're talking about, we were actually watching videos. But before that, we just listened to songs, and I used to give them the lyrics, and I used to just let it play, and then hear their opinion first and see how they interpreted it, and then I let them know what the artist was really trying to say. And most of the messages were positive. But some stuff kind of went over their head, they didn't get it, or some stuff they just interpreted in a whole different way. And I just tried to explain, like, you need to, these days especially, you need to listen to the lyrics and actually know what you're listening to before you're walking around saying it. Because then other people hear you saying that, like, you really know what that means? So you're just trying to open dialogue and really know music and the history of music and how it got to where it is today.
And one of the other things, I'm going to wrap it up, but in the very beginning, you said that there was a reason that you picked hip-hop culture, and it wasn't because you don't even have to like the music, but it's the most influential music right now, so it's what you're going to hear. So before we close, are you guys sure there's nothing else you want to say? Only Nene spoke beautifully. Go ahead.
I just want to say that the way they influence music is good, because, like how they said, people don't really like listen to the real message of music. They just listen to the music and then they say it's good. They don't really like look into it, like. So.
You know, the other thing that you should pay attention to, you guys, we have a lot of educators that come on our program, and one of the things that they always talk about with students is that you have to know yourself, and you have to know how to speak, and you have to know how to express yourself. And you're so young right now, so when they're asking you to elaborate on something, you have to learn how to form your thoughts and get your opinion out there. Whether or not someone else agrees with you is regardless. It's beside the point. But you have to learn how to do that. So use this opportunity to not only learn about music, but also learn how to present your thoughts in a concise, cohesive way.
And actually, one of our topics was public speaking. So they actually took turns speaking in front of each other, trying to build them up in that area. Because I told them it's something, whether you go to college, work, it's something you have to do for probably the rest of your life. So get comfortable speaking in public.
So I want to thank you all for coming, and I would love to be invited to another event, because you can see, like, I think that this is going to reach a lot of people. So
did you want to tell them about your next one?
And actually, my next Real Talk session is next Saturday, May the 11th, and the topic is drug and alcohol. And it's actually our part 3 of that as well. And we're actually going to have a special guest, someone that was addicted to several drugs and came out of it, and is going to come talk to the young people about the repercussions and things about drugs and where that takes your life. Yes, same place. Soldiers for Christ Church, 625 Dawson Drive, Suite B, Newark, Delaware.
And also, like, even if you ever want to come, you don't have to be a member of our church to come. A lot of the youth that do come is not a member, so you don't have to be a member of our church to be included in the open discussions or groups, or just any of the things that we do. We're also working on taking a trip to the Black Wax Museum and things like that. So you don't have to be a member of the church to be included in a group.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. That's great. I get on her nerves so bad. I'm like, wouldn't you like to do that, Imani? You guys, thank you so much.